hope this book will help others who may be at the very beginning of their journey with cancer or any devastating news or news that they never thought they would be facing?
The first thing is that I want to be able to use this book to help people to understand that we are we're three different parts.
Mm-hmm.
And that anything that comes up in your heart, in your mind, it comes up for a reason. That,
Mm-hmm.
we're very valuable, especially as faith-based people, we're very valuable to God, not just the spiritual self, but every part of us. And so Romans 5:8 talks about that, is that when we were at our worst, God found us valuable when we had no idea that we were even, you know, at our darkest time, at our worst, worst position or worst time in life, that someone found us valuable even in that state. So that's been the biggest part for me, is understanding that I am valuable regardless of how I behave,
Yes.
regardless of, how I treated myself, that God found me valuable regardless, period, dot. Right.
Wow. And this, it sounds like your journey has led you to deeper truths within yourself and about yourself.
Yes.
What were a few of the hardest truths you had to face?
The first one that comes to mind, when I seen the question, Miss Tierra, the first one was that, did I really want truth? That was I had already defined in my mind what truth was, and it wasn't based on the reality of truth. I wanted truth to look a certain way.
So were you willing to give up the illusion or fantasy or visualization in your mind and really accept whatever the truth was?
No.
Wow.
I wasn't. It had to look a certain way. So the diagnosis really forced me, because just like any other person would respond, when we hear the word cancer, it's an immediate death sentence. So I thought I was getting ready to die. So it forced me to look at some things and how I had lived my life in the past and examine, what is truth? Yeah, how do I need to redefine truth to line up with what I'm dealing with right now?
Wow. What were some other hard truths you had to face about yourself?
One was, the other one, I would say another one was that I thought because I was a believer in Christ and strove to serve him in an honorable way, that would protect me from disease like cancer.
Wow.
Yes, I did.
You really believe that?
I really believe
So
that.
you believe that someone who was a believer would not get a diagnosis?
I believe
Or
I
you
wouldn't.
wouldn't?
I wouldn't.
Talk to me a little bit more about that.
Yeah, because our human response is
Simply because you were a believer? Or in the
simply
book,
because
you talk about having a pretty healthy lifestyle too. So it seemed like you were trying to do the things that you thought were quote unquote good or right for you and your family and your body. So it seemed like that was a piece of the shock as well. Or are you saying simply because you were a believer, you didn't think that you would get sick, or was it a combination of?
well, definitely a combination. So as a believer striving to serve God in an honorable way, then the honorable part was, let me do what I need to do.
Okay.
Practically.
Okay.
Which is, working out at the gym, eating right, because I was competing at that time as a bodybuilder.
Okay.
Right. Dealing with stress. The big component that was missing was the emotional component, as far as respecting, that part of me and listening to my, my human self. So many things I would, when it would come up that would bother me, I would ask the old me and how I responded. So that was the component there, because I did examine. I wanted to understand, how is this happening to me? I believe God. I strove to honor him by taking care of myself nutritionally. I'm working out at the gym. I'm moving in my ministry, taking care of my family. I'm giving to the church. I'm in church on Sundays and Wednesday, and just
So you
doing
were
those
doing
things.
the things that we hear and are taught that are quote unquote the good thing or the right thing.
Yes.
You were trying to be the best version of yourself that you could be, right?
Yes.
So am I hearing you say, because I can relate to this, and I'm sure there are other people that can relate. You were trying to eat well, you were exercising, you were there for your family, you were trying to do the best you could within your purpose, you were serving in the community and at church, but yet you get diagnosed with cancer and you're like, how and why?
Yes, I did.
If I'm doing all of these things, did it feel like a punishment?
Oh, it certainly felt like a punishment. It felt like disrespect.
As you were angry.
I was very angry.
Did you give up your faith at any point?
I did. On several occasions, I did. And that's the part about God's grace, that he was yet faithful when I walked away, because I couldn't figure it out. Couldn't figure it out. I went down the checklist, and it's like I'm missing something. I'm missing
like,
something.
Why me? What did I do to deserve this?
Yeah, certainly. I serve you. I serve you faithfully. I strove to obey you. I strove to do the right thing. I don't do this, and this. And so, yeah, that was my rational self just trying to understand.
And you're like, after I've done all of this, now I get cancer.
Right.
So you're like, forget it.
Yes,
What brought you back?
It was the faithfulness of God, and just using different people to speak into my life and to just bring perspective. Because at that point, I began to seek truth. If I have been thinking all this time that I've been living by truth, and I examine my belief system, and it's like, so where am I missing it? Where am I missing it? What really is truth? I started asking that question for sure. What is truth?
Wow.
I did.
Today's segment has been brought to you by our sponsors, The Essence of Excellence, ACT Score Booster, and MarriagesCanWin.com. Be sure to subscribe to Tierra Destiny and Friends via YouTube and enter your email address at TierraDestinyRead.com for more updates, free online training, and details on our next live taping.